Okay, then let's get started. So I just want to say welcome to those who have just joined us on today's Quick Learn. This is where we're going to be covering the different options to get your data from 50 accounts and into Excel. And this is what we're going to be covering today. So we're going to start by introducing the topic and the differences between the options that you have in the software. I will then demonstrate each option within the software as well. And at the end of the demonstration, I will then come back to my slides to summarise the session and then talk about upcoming webinars. Like I said earlier, please do keep your questions coming throughout the session so either me or my colleagues can pick this up. Before I introduce the topic, we are just wanting to get an idea of what sort of information you are analysing. So it might be that you're just previewing the report and analysing the data from there, but you're not getting as much out of it as you would like, which is why you're here on today's session. So we kind of want to know, is it just your customers, your suppliers, your invoices, sales orders, purchase orders, products or stock? Just pop your answers into the little questions panel down the right hand side. That looks like the little speech bubble, just so we can gauge some insight there. Like I said, there's no right or wrong answer, just pop in what you're kind of analysing on your software. We'll just wait for some of those answers to come through there. You can see some answers starting to come through, so we can see products and stock, your customers, suppliers. So kind of the information that we kind of expected, but we just want to get an insight on that information. Okay, so in terms of the options that we have, so in terms of also sending it to Excel, so sending data from Sage 50 accounts to Excel opens up a myriad of possibilities and provides a flexible platform to further analyse, manipulate, summarise and present financial information. So now you have three main options to get your data into Excel. So you've got three options. So the first one will be send to Excel. So within each module throughout your software, you'll be able to export the list as it appears on your page. You've then got the report to Excel. So that sends the report preview format directly into Excel. And then lastly, you've got data to Excel. So that pushes through the data in the background of a report into a table format with filters, allowing you to easily manipulate the data. So let's move over to my software and see what this looks like. Okay. Let's have a look. So we're going to go into, for example, we're going to start in customers. So the send to Excel option, which is your option along the top here in your toolbar. So this option allows you throughout the program in each module in various windows. It is a quick and easy way to get your data into Excel without having to run a report. So we're in the customers module as an example. Let's just say we're talking about the list. So the list I'm referring to is your column headers here and any information that appears in this list here. Now, if you've got a lot of information in this list, it is going to take a lot longer to send to Excel. So it might be that you want to apply a filter to reduce the amount of records in the list. So at the moment, I've got 37 records on show. I want to apply a filter. And let's just say I want to see only customers with a balance. So I'm going to apply a filter, which will be where balance. I'm going to put my condition is greater than, and I want any customers to show a balance greater than 0. I click apply. You can see now my list is reduced, so I only have 10 records showing. So that's reduced that list down, so it's a little bit shorter, so it'll take less time to send into Excel. But it might be that also as well that all these columns don't apply to me, and I might not want to show that in the information I'm going to send to Excel. So it might be, for example, email or print doesn't apply to the information I want to see. So all you would do, anywhere along this blue line, column line, sorry, right click on your mouse, and it brings up options to add new column headers in or take away column headers. So it might be, let's say I don't want to show email or print. If I click on it again, right click, but I do want to show when the last invoice was for that customer. Once I've reduced it down, I'm happy with that information. If I wanted to, I could also apply another filter over the top of that if I wanted to reduce it down even more. But I'm just going to leave mine just at that. And I'm going to click Send to Excel. You can see how nice and quick that was. So if I just zoom in a little bit, just so you can see. So you can see it's literally taken that list from that module that you were looking at and put it into Excel in a table format. The table format enables you to manually apply filters, which allows you to manipulate your data. So what you can do, so I'm just going to clear this line as I no longer need it because it's just a blank line. I'm going to delete that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply filters to these headers. So I'm going to go to sort and filter along the top and apply a filter. That then allows me just to select, filter by last invoice date, a particular customer, maybe even the balance. So that is in terms of how to send the information to Excel. So let's close that down. I'm not going to save that option. I'm just going to clear these filters out, just so I get my full list back. As I mentioned earlier, it is also in various data entry windows as well. So for example, if I was to go to suppliers, you can see I get the Send to Excel option here. But also if I was to go into, for example, batch invoice, you can see I've got the Send to Excel option here within the entry window as well. And also as well, we've got these column headers along the top again. If you wanted to reduce those down, you could just right click on your mouse and it brings those options up as well. Now, if we're going to look at report to Excel, I'm going to go back to my customers as an example. And I'm going to go to my reports area. So I do have a condensed grouped list, and that's because I've got a smaller screen, but you might see reports as an option along the top. Let's just open on a different window. Bear with me a moment. So as you can see, when I'm in this window here, I get the option report to Excel and data to Excel. If I hover over report, I also get the option here and here. And also if I right click on a report, I get the option to report to Excel and data to Excel in here. But what I'm going to do for this example is I'm going to run the age debtors analysis summary, but I'm going to preview it instead. So I'm going to click the preview. I'm going to leave the criteria as it is. And I'm going to click OK. So that's the preview of the analysis report for the age debtors. So Report to Excel exports the report as the preview format and pushes it into Excel. You can delete information that's not needed and manually add filters if required. So let's have a look. So if we use the option within preview, so you've got Report to Excel, Data to Excel here. So I'm going to go to Report to Excel. And as you can see, it's pushed that format, exactly how you've seen it on the preview page, into Excel. So you can manually format it if you wanted to. So if you wanted to delete out these options here, actually we'll include that one as well. And we'll just delete that. So then you can see you've got all those columns that you had in preview. And then what you can do is then, again, as I showed you earlier, sort and filter, and then apply the filter. So then that allows you to do it the same. You do have to do a little bit of amending of the columns and the rows, but again, if you like that, preferred that format, and it's showing you the information you want to see, then you can do it that way. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to minimize this one, as we are going to come back to it in a moment. But I just wanted to show you the option for Data to Excel and how it looks different and how it works. So if we instead go to Data to Excel, just wait for that to load. There we go. So we can see this one looks quite different. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit. Actually, we'll keep it a little bit so we can see. Okay, I'm just going to make my columns a little bit bigger as well, so we can see the information. So Data to Excel sends all the raw data from the report into Excel with column headers. It has no report formatting, but it is in a table with the filter option already applied, meaning it is easy for you to start manipulating the data. Now, if I put the two comparisons side by side, I'll just do that in a moment, 1 second. We'll put this one together as well. So you can see the comparison between the two. So on the left, sorry, this one here, we've got the report to Excel. So let's look at A1 Design Services as an example. On this report, we can see we've got one line of data for this customer representing their total age debt. And if then we look at the right-hand side, which is the Data to Excel option, we can see that A1 Design Services has many lines of data shown, not just a single line. And this is because Data to Excel format always sends the transactional data out of the software. You need to be aware that these two options will not always produce the same data output. And this is down to how the report is structured in Report Designer. And as you know, we have many reports in the software. If Data to Excel is giving too much information, then use the Report to Excel format instead and manually manipulate and add the filters. So it would be this option on the left, so Report to Excel. What I'm going to do now is I am just going to pop back to my slides there so we can summarize what we've just discussed. So I'll just close these down and we'll pop back over. Okay, so to summarize, you will find Send to Excel in the toolbar along the top of most of your modules and data entry windows. You will find Report and Data to Excel in the Reports area of each module. So just to cover again, so you send to Excel, so within each module window, you'll be able to export this list. You send to your Report to Excel, sends the report preview format to Excel. And your Data to Excel, transactional data, so it sends transactional data in a table form, pre-filtered, allowing you to easily manipulate the data. Now, it's not one size fits all scenario. Each option is entirely situational to what you want to do with the data and how detailed you want it. So it is down to you and how you want to manipulate your data and what works best for you. We have many reports in the program that work in different ways. So it is going to be a case of running either a report to Excel or a Data to Excel. And if it's not providing the information you want in the correct format, then you want to be trying the other option. Just a reminder to keep your questions coming by clicking the little question mark with the panel, try again. The speech bubble with the question mark in the middle. That's down the right hand side. And see, we've had some plenty questions coming through there, keeping the team busy. Whilst we wait for any extra questions to come through, I'm just going to move on to upcoming webinars. So some of the key topics that we've got coming up over the next couple of weeks. So tomorrow we have the Sage Report Library at 2 p.m. So that's where most of the most popular reports and layouts are available as free downloads from our report library. So that's on our help centre. We've also got processing contract entries on Thursday, and that's at 2 p.m. That's how to learn how to process your contract entries manually, and if using the Sage 50 Accounts Professional, we do have an automatic option. We've also got backing up your data, understanding tax codes for the UK, company archive. We've got another quick learn, which is accounts audit, which is next week, Tuesday at 2 p.m. as well. We've also got the business dashboard coming up in the next couple of weeks as well. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put myself on a brief mute just to see if there's any questions that need to be covered, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, so I can see the guys have been able to keep up with those questions there that are coming through. I can see one's just come through from Jason there. Let's have a look. So do you offer a webinar about exporting and importing of data to and from Sage? So yes, we do have a webinar on importing data. That's on our recordings page. So what I'll do is I'll quickly just show you where you can find that. So I'll just open up the Help Center. So if we go into webinars along the top in our Help Center, you can also go to sage.co.uk/webinars as well, and then choose accounts. And then if we come into the list here, you've got previous recordings. And what you can do is it is in alphabetical order. So if we just go, for example, importing, so let's go all the way down to here. We've got one there, importing records, importing transactions as well. So you can watch those on here. So that does bring us to the end of today's session. Please feel free to stay around. We're probably going to be around till around past. If you do have any questions that you do want to ask us before we leave the session. If you got what you needed today and you want to leave the session, you will receive an email in around an hour or so with links to both our webinar schedule and today's recorded session for you to refer back to if needs be. What I'm going to do in the meantime is I am going to pop myself on mute just to see if there's any questions that I can demonstrate or pick up. Okay, so majority of the questions seem to have been answered and we don't seem to be having any new ones coming through. So what I'll do is will wrap the session up now. I want to say thank you to all my colleagues who have been on hand today to answer your questions, and thank you to all for your participation. Just a reminder, we have got plenty of sessions over the next couple of weeks, so don't be shy and get registered. So I want to say another thank you and take care.